I'm sure we are ragdoll. It's very depressing. There we go. All that stuff is trying to... There we go. Thanks, Kelbell. I hope the, yes, the comments are appearing well over this shirt, so that's good. Hey, Ty. It's always a worry with wearing any shirt that has white on it, but hey. Let's hope that this correctly mutes this time. Hey, Mystic. Yes, it muted this time correctly. Good. Yesterday it did not. Sure. Let's see. I have to open this on this one. Sure, here you go. Crispy? I don't know what that means. Yeah, they always love to yap. Okay, so I assume bored... Oh, thank you for the bubbles. I love bubbles. You know, it's like my favorite word to say for no good reason. All right. Okay, so I don't know how to say your name, but we'll just say Lisa Yahoo. Okay. Was asking about the 300,000 missing children. Fact check. December 13, 2021, because this is so old. The 300,000 missing children claim is so old, it's been fact checked constantly over the last 4 years. All right. You know who started it? Lauren Boebert. Of course it was Lauren Boebert. 365,348 children went missing in 2020. You haven't heard a word about it. That's not true. And it goes on to continue to say it's actually gone down as far as missing children. And it continues to talk about what the actual number was. It's 89,637. It's all there. And in 2020, there was only 30,396 were still active cases. And then it continues to talk about how that they missed their court date or they didn't update their addresses. Do I think it's bad? Certainly, it is bad. However, when they're handed off, like when the individuals, they're not accounting for the fact that they aged out of the system and these numbers. They're not accounting for the fact that the phone number changed or the address changed. They weren't lost. They just didn't check in properly. Cool beans. But that was really just for Lisa Yahoo. And no, people did speak out against Obama's deportation. So I love how you guys always love to say that as well. But they did happen. Thanks, Carlo. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there? It sounds like you need to go outside. Don't know who that was, but it sounds like you need to go outside. I don't know. It was very hard to hear them for one. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there? Hello.
Hello, Ari Merm. This is Kevin Neves calling from Progressive Life by eFinancial, and I'm on recorded line. responding to the life insurance request you submitted.
Yeah, if you're on a recorded line, I hope that you get fired for doing prank calls.
This is not a prank call.
Oh, cool. Tell me what my email address is.
So is this Ari Merm?
Does that sound like a real name to you?
I have no. That's what it shows here, ma'am. Is that
Yeah,
not you?
so what's my email address that I signed up for this with?
So this was just a request for a quote.
Yeah, and guess what? I've
Or...
actually requested quotes from Progressive before, and it requires an email address. So can you tell me what my email address is?
So I won't be able to give you the email unless you say that you're Ari Merm. Are you Ari Merm?
Yeah. I am. Yeah, it's Ari actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's my email address?
And like I said, I just need to verify a few basic pieces of information so I connect you to a licensed agent for your state. Okay?
Yeah. Cool.
So
what's my email address?
And you said you are the proposed insured currently on the phone, Ari Merm. That's you?
Yeah, I've already corrected you on my name. Most people that would work for any kind of call-in service would correct their mispronunciation of a name.
Am I pronouncing it wrong?
Already did. So what's my email address?
Is your email address? It looks like it's not provided here, actually.
Oh, so yeah, I hope you get fired for performing prank calls, sir. Yeah, exactly. With the wind in the background. It wasn't legit. Like, I've signed up for Progressive before, guys. Like, Progressive insurance exists. Right? Like, almost everybody's done that. You have to give an email address. That was so funny. No, I hope if he was, like, get fired for pranking. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you have to provide an email address. Just saying. It was slightly funny. Which is why I get a smile and laugh the whole time. I'm sure you don't. I don't know. I don't know what insurance is the best in car insurance, guys, but that's also not what I'm here for. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there? Go outside and touch some grass. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there? Okay, bye. I believe you, Denise. I believe you. See, that would have been a funny prank too. Aw. That would have been a funny prank. See, those I would probably laugh at. More than... Hi. Calling for... Did he say his name? Because, you know, they have to say their name. Hi, Alicia. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Hello.
Hi, how old are you?
26.
Okay. Did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I did.
Do you still support him?
Yes, I do.
What's your main reason why?
Well, I believe that he's trying to fix the country in the ways that the Democrats have failed.
Be specific. What has he done?
Basically, the first week that he took office, he tried overturning all the government spending with Doge. So all the government tax cuts, all the wasteful spending. That's the biggest reason.
All in his first week?
Um,
Thanks, Razors.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if it was his whole entire first week, but that's one of the things that he signed in. He signed in.
So he signed to stop all of the government spending through Doge? Hi, Jamie.
The audits. That's the
Oh,
audits that he's
audits?
been. Yeah, the trying to track what the government is.
Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Which part do you want to start on? Do you want to start on with Doge or do you want to start on with audits?
We'll start with Doge.
Doge, cool. Can you remind me who in the government controls the money?
That would be the Treasury Department.
No.
Okay, so who controls the
Who controls appropriations? I guess I should
sorry.
rephrase
Wait.
appropriations.
Would it be the IRS tax revenue?
No.
Okay, so who controls the money in the government?
Yeah. Appropriations are allotted and controlled by Congress.
Okay,
So,
yeah, with what they signed over for the spending bill, that yes, that's true.
yes, and they're also the only ones that can cancel any federal spending. This is actually all laid out in Article 1 of the United States Constitution.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. So Donald Trump didn't cancel any spending. He couldn't, especially not in his first week. And when it comes to audits, are you familiar with CFR?
No. Can you
Yeah, so
can you give me the full name instead of the
abbreviation.
abbreviation?
Yep.
Yes.
Code of Federal Regulations.
No, I'm not familiar with all the
Awesome.
regulations.
Cool. So in order for any entity to perform an external audit on the government or a governing body, right? They have to have an actual licensed CPA a part of their team for the oversight. Not a single person on Doge's team of staff were licensed CPAs. So already, it's not an audit. And also, if you wanted to see an audit, USAID specifically was audited last year, and their audit report was printed and available November 2024. And they passed their audit. Welcome back, Trisha.
That's a okay, but that's just one form. What about the Department of Defense and the Pentagon failing their audits? There's money that they can't even
when did Doge
track.
touch them? Did Doge ever look at Pentagon or the DoD?
I don't know the exact dates, but I don't know the exact dates on it, but it's one of the main traces of money that they can't seem to, like, not millions of dollars, like billions of dollars just spent with no contracts. And the only reason why I know this is because of my time overseas. I was in the military while Afghanistan was falling. Now, granted, when it fell, all that equipment that was left behind, it amounted to billions upon billions upon billions of dollars that were not accounted for because technically it went to the new government.
Yeah.
Amongst the other money that was allocated to the funds of money going to the new organizations of government over there, and also the new the projects that we helped support during the 20 years of war.
Okay. So, you weren't able to answer my question. I'll help you out here. Doge never audited or looked at the Pentagon or the DoD. All right? So, when it comes to the pullout in Afghanistan, the majority of equipment that was left there was already pre-destroyed. Everything else that was left was already sold to the Afghani government. That was a part of a deal that was already done. We're aware of this. This isn't anything that's new. In fact, at this point, it is old news. It was a part of the Doha Accords.
Okay, then who can it? The way you're okay. The Doha Accord was signed that all the government assets left behind would be promised to the new government. But who controls the government now?
Yeah, the Taliban. And guess who you should be upset with about that? Who signed the Doha Accords? What president of the United States of America signed the Doha Accords?
Wasn't it? Yes, wasn't it Trump?
It was Trump. So guess who you should be upset about? The equipment being left there. Should be upset. You should be upset with Trump.
No, here, I'm going to explain to you why I'm not upset with Trump. So the years that I was over there between 2021 to 2022,
no,
who
sir,
was acting president?
Sir, you're going to stop. You already made your point. You already made your claim that you were upset about the equipment being left in Afghanistan. And now that I've pointed out to you and you've acknowledged that it was in fact Donald Trump who signed the Doha Accords that made the agreement that equipment was going to be left in Afghanistan because it's much cheaper for us to sell the equipment than to pay to import it back into America with the shipping costs and everything like that, right? But now you want to explain why you've changed your tune while acknowledging that Trump is the one that signed the Doha Accords that is the reason for why you're upset to begin with. You don't get to now change your tune to be, well, here's why I'm actually not upset with Trump, even though I just acknowledged that he's the one that signed the Doha Accords and the Doha Agreements, not Biden, to switching it over to being basically about why you're now upset with Biden because you were deployed there. Sir, you can't have it both ways.
It's not both ways because as a commander-in-chief, he could have made a better plan on planning the withdrawal, even though it was a set date. There was no planning.
No, he was left, let's be clear, he was left with the very specific plan from Trump's administration. Joe Biden came into office and was left with a skeleton crew by Trump. When Trump was campaigning for president, he made it very clear, and he said it multiple times, that all of our troops in Afghanistan in the year 2022, right, were going to be home by Christmas. After he lost the election, he scrapped his playbook and instead just left a skeleton crew in Afghanistan for the fallback. The only way that we could have potentially avoided the unfortunate ending of those 13 lives, which, yes, Joe Biden is 50% responsible for. Donald Trump is also 50% responsible for because it's his plan, right? The only way we could have avoided it was by putting additional troops in there, and we would have had to we would have just had to put more people there and put more people at risk. Donald Trump is the one that signed the agreement. He's the one that brought a terrorist organization to a military base in the United States of America. He's the one that agreed to release 5,000 prisoners of the Taliban who then went back to their country and overthrew the government and then released additional prisoners who were the ones that were responsible for the death of the 13 soldiers. It did happen under Biden's watch, which is why he is also responsible for it. But to say that there is no responsibility left on Donald Trump is just factually incorrect.
I'm not saying that either. If you can place 50% of the blame on Joe Biden and Trump, that That's agreeable. But
Cool.
But here's the thing.
There's the but.
Even though the plan was set out for the date to be pulled down, Joe Biden being the commander in chief and the generals below him, they did not have. It's not even the capability. We had so many troops stationed in Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, that we were, as a task force, we were never ordered to safely secure the base because of the orders from the president. Now, granted, like you just said, it would have been unsafe for more soldiers to be sent.
Yeah, more people would have died if we had pulled more people in, because you're familiar with the term kamikaze?
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So, because that's basically what they did.
I understand that.
Right.
That's a risk.
There's an S word that I can't say because I'm streaming on TikTok. So kamikaze is the best thing I've got. Here's the thing, like, and I'm going to point this out because even the chat is saying this, is that you're talking in circles to try to absolve Trump of the blame. Here's how I know that you're trying to absolve him of the blame.
I'm not trying to absolve Trump of the blame.
When you said, here's how you did, though. You said, I can agree with doing 50% blame for Biden and Trump, but when you say but, you've invalidated the beginning of your argument. You've already sent an invalidation of that. Thank you, Exquisite.
Okay, listen. One of the things that, like, you're bringing up, I'm agreeing that 50% of the blame could be blamed on the presidents because the lack of planning, and the signing of the accord. That's true. But the way that the media has alienated me as a conservative has basically, this president did no health or safety regulations during COVID, so everything's blamed on Trump. Oh, Joe Biden tried to do more lockdowns. Okay, like the way that the media has gone about it is alienating. It's been alienating to the Republicans, and it has not been factually true. I bet you most people that you talk to, they don't even know about the Doja Accords. They don't know that the planning that the military went through, and how basically what I'm trying to explain, the level of incompetence that came from the government and the military leaders at the time is what led to basically the situation and fall of Afghanistan. I'm not trying to pull Trump out of his mistakes, but ultimately, Joe Biden was the president. He was the leader of the country. Why didn't he try to salvage the situation as best he could?
So did you want him to send more troops into Afghanistan after the 13 soldiers died to continue a war that we were trying to get out of for the last 20 years? Was that your solution?
It's a better solution for the collateral damage and what's going to happen in the next 5 to 10 years.
Let me try something with you real quick. Do you remember? Do you know when a president is inaugurated into office? Do you know what date?
The January of the next year. January
20th, to be specific. Yes. Was there a peaceful transfer of power between on January 20th of 2021?
If you're gonna bring up the,
I'm not. I gave you a very specific date. On January 20th, 2021, was there a peaceful transfer of power?
Is this a trick question? Because
no,
Joe Biden became the president.
Okay, I guess you don't understand the question. It's okay. Listen, sir, if you've served in our military, thank you for your service. I think you are woefully misinformed or underinformed, and I think that you should fix that. There was not a peaceful transfer of power on January 20, 2021. Have a good night. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How old are you?
Hello.
How old are you? Okay.
Fuck you. I support race.
Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yep.
How old are you?
30.
Did you vote for Trump?
Yeah, the first time around, second time around, I did not.
In 2024, did you vote for Trump?
No. And
Alright.
there's a reason why not.
Thanks, man. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Shut your retarded ass up, bitch, nigga.
Okay. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there? I'm so sorry for any headphone listeners. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there? Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yeah.
How old are you?
35.
Awesome. Did you vote for Trump?
Yes.
Do you still support him?
Yes.
All right. What is your main reason for still supporting Trump?
Do you have a 401k?
Yep. No, actually, sorry.
What's
It's now
it?
a pension plan.
Okay, what's it at?
Dude, I don't know. I put money into it. The pension plan is a safe.
Double what it was at the end of Biden term. But
No, before
Not
I
just
switched
that.
over my 401k, I actually lost money. So.
right, but not today. There's no way.
Golden. Well, it's no longer in a 401k because I switched jobs, so it had to roll over into
Oh.
a pension. Do you understand
Oh,
how that
okay, I
works?
see what you're saying. Yeah, I see
Pensions
what you're
aren't
saying.
pensions aren't traded the same way that investment or 401ks are.
Okay, but what about
Anyways,
economy, period.
so what about the economy?
how's it doing?
Inflation is up.
From the end of Biden?
No, yeah, sorry, it is. Technically, yeah, because it was, where was it at in January? I don't remember where it was at in January. But yeah, just specifically between May and June, it's up.
From May to June?
Yep, because we measure inflation, CPI, on a month-to-month basis.
Okay. So, why don't you support Trump?
Cool. All right, there's a few reasons. You mind if I list them out?
No, sure.
Awesome. So I don't support a president that goes against articles and amendments of the United States Constitution. I can't feel like I can support a president that talks about annexing our neighbor, Canada. I don't feel like I can support a president that talks about purchasing another sovereign country of Greenland from their territory owner of Denmark, right? I also don't support a country or a president that talks about taking back the Panama Canal that was given back to Panama in 1999 with a congressional act because of riots that happened from military occupation. Which one would you like to address?
No, those are your opinions, but those are this term.
Correct. Because
okay,
Donald Trump is
okay.
actively the president. So, see, what
Tell
I
me about
usually
his
do
last
is
term.
I talk about what he's
No.
actively doing as a president.
What about his last term?
What about it, sir?
Because, I mean, I've watched your live many times. So, you don't like Donald Trump, obviously.
I don't support
What
what
about
he's
his
doing
last
as
term?
president.
Because you came into this term not liking him. So what about his last term made you not like him?
Sir, the whole point of my stream is to talk about why I don't currently like him as president of the United States, not why I personally
That's
don't like
okay,
him as a person
but
or an
what about
individual or
his
what he
last
did
term?
before. What about his last term? Do you want to talk about how
I
I
mean,
feel like
I get
he?
what media. No, no, hold on
Cool.
a minute.
Would you
Just
like?
1 second.
Okay.
I get what those three things, uh, by what you're saying. I get from your perspective, but not mine. But that's okay because we all have our own opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me something about his last term, if you know a lot about Donald Trump.
Cool. We saw with the passing of the TCJA, while it gave a minor benefit to the lower and middle class, it highly benefited the upper class more in corporations with dropping the rate down from 35, their tax rate down from 35 to 21%. We didn't see an increase in wages at the time when with that drop of the corporate tax rate, which was expected, which is what we were told was going to happen. We saw a very minute raising of wages at the corporate level, and you can find this all from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, because unfortunately, in economics, it doesn't trickle down. People stay rich by keeping the money in their pockets.
Is that it?
I would say about the only couple things that he did right in his first term was Operation Warp Speed to push the production of the vaccine. That did help some people. I would also say when he made animal cruelty a federal offense and made it a felony instead of just a misdemeanor offense, that was a great thing. He also re-upped the coral preservation, the Marine Life Preservation Act, which is constantly re-signed about every 6 to 8 years in Congress. So he re-signed that one.
How hard did he try to fight for, or I mean, everything that he tried to get done? How hard was it for him to get things done? How hard? Like, how comes it was so hard for him to get anything done?
Or okay, who?
You
Let's
get what
try
I'm
this.
saying?
No, I don't, because let me ask you
So
this
why was
question.
it so hard?
Let me ask you
Hold
this
on.
question. No,
Why was
I
it
was
so hard
answering
for
your
him to
original
get anything
question.
done?
I was literally answering your question, but I do have to ask one first. Okay.
Okay.
In his first 2 years of presidency,
Mm-hmm.
what was the makeup of Congress? Who had the majority?
Say again.
In his first 2 years of presidency, who had the majority in Congress?
The Democrats.
Incorrect.
No.
The Republicans had the majority in the House and in the Senate in his first 2 years of Congress, sir. Congressional makeup of
There's
115.
no way.
Okay.
Until today.
This is what I love. Cool. 115, United States Congress served 2017 through 2019, the legislative branch, okay? In the Senate,
Okay.
we had president of the Senate was Mike Pence because he was, in fact, the vice president. That's their position. We had the president pro tempore was a Republican. Orrin Hatch. I said his first name wrong. I know it. The Senate majority leader was Mitch McConnell, a Republican.
Yep.
What does it mean when that's the majority leader? Does that mean that that party had the majority? Right? Okay.
Not necessarily.
Okay. House of Representatives, Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, Republican. House Majority Leader, Kevin McCarthy, Republican. Now, if we actually look at the split, the Democratic Party had only 47 people in the Senate. The Republican Party had 51. That's a majority. If you look at the House, the Democratic Party only had 193. The Republican Party had 235. That's a majority. Thank you. Have a nice day. He left on his own. All right, there is one chat really quickly. Thank you, David, for the $1, by the way. Kyle, thank you for the $5. Said, watch this for like 3 minutes. Oh boy, do I have a lot to say. Would love to talk to you. I have my one main issue that I had for voting for DJT. Kyle, you're welcome to call in. I can't promise that you'll get through, but you're always welcome to call in. Oh, and thank you for TX. I just saw that. Thank you. Thank you guys on TikTok for all the gifts. Let's get the likes up to 50,000. Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there? Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Niggers, 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 niggers.
Thank you for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. How old are you?
52.
Did you vote for Trump?
No, I didn't vote for Trump.
Well, I do appreciate you, but I am just looking for Trump voters and supporters, so I hope you have a good night. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Shut your retarded ass up, you stupid nigger bitch.
I'm white.
Fucking
Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How old are you?
I am 19.
Yeah, what's your date of birth?
My date of birth?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Hi, Ari. I spoke to you last week, but I think you hung up on me.
Maybe. It's hard to remember.
Oh.
I do this 6 days
Well,
a week, man.
I'm sorry. So my take was that I don't think a woman is fit to be president. And, you know,
you're
after you...
the misogynist. Got it. Guys, do I want to deal with misogyny again today?
Are you going to let me speak, or are you going to just keep yapping like most women? Now...
No, I'm good. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yeah.
How old are you?
34.
Did you vote for Trump?
Yeah.
Do you still support him?
Yeah.
All right. Just really quickly, okay? I'm going to do a quick PSA for my live. All right, I'm going to mute you guys on TikTok real quick. Just a friendly reminder, over on YouTube, if you send a super chat, which are available, it does go right up on the screen. It might take me a moment to address it, but I will get to it. And we also do have memberships available, so please feel free to become a member. I will be posting like the highlights of each stream for members only, just specific to each chat. Back over on TikTok, guys, we do have a small gift goal going on. If you can help me hit it, that's great, because apparently I'm not human, so I got to figure out what I am. Also, the best way to support the live is to hit that subscription button. So please don't forget to subscribe, and let's get the likes up to 50,000. All right, so caller, thank you for your patience. What is the main reason that you still support Trump? Oh yeah, don't forget to follow. I forgot about that one.
He's making this country better.
Okay, in what way specifically?
Many ways. With these illegal and everything that he's done.
Are you able to provide a specific example? Okay. I don't know what to say to that one. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. How old are you?
I am 23.
What year were you born?
2003.
Math ain't mathin'. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Hello?
Hi, how old are you?
30. How old are you?
Also in early 30s. Thank you. Did you vote for Trump? Hello?
Hell no.
All right, well, thanks, man. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yes.
Ooh, you're a child. It's 2025. The caller said that he was 23, born in 2003. That would be 22 HV. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Hi, I am here.
Awesome. How old are you?
I'm 29.
Cool. Did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Fantastic. Do
With
you still
some
support him?
concession. Yes, in general. Not everything he does, but in general,
course.
yes.
Thrawn, thank you for the 149, and then thank you again for the $2 Canadian, and said thank you so much for doing this. Of course, thank you. Okay, so what is your main reason for why you still support Trump?
I think he's the lesser of two evils.
Okay, just really quickly. Sorry, math bothers me with people. If
I'm sorry,
someone
what?
is, it's not you. If HV in the chat, if someone said that they're 23, what is 2,000 plus 23? It's 26. In order for that caller to have been 23, we would have to be in the year 2026, based off of the year of birth. He said 23. Anyways, sorry, caller. I do apologize.
All right.
All right. And what was your main issue? And I'm sorry.
You still there?
I am.
Okay. So, you want to know why people support Trump in general?
Just specifically you.
Okay. Because he does not directly attack for the most part. He does in some regard. But in general, he does not attack Christians. In fact, he panders to them somewhat overtly, which bothers me. But on the other end, on the leftist side of things, they overtly attack. And that's why I view him as the lesser of two evils.
Okay. In what way? Okay, sorry, you're not done. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, so he panders to them. For example, he printed his own quote-unquote Bible with the Constitution in it. Disagree with that, but he's pandering
Not
to
the
that
whole
side.
Constitution, but continue.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Where this country was founded particularly on deistic and Christian value systems. The whole reason we have rights was specifically because they were, according to the Declaration, we were endowed with it by our Creator. So it's a fundamentally religious idea. Whereas the opposite side attacks those ideas. And I just cannot get behind that. Where he falters for me is some of his economic policies and things like that, but in general, he's also been supportive of anti-foreign war, although he's kind of backtracked on that as of late, as we all know, unfortunately. But on a policy level, he's generally an America first, which is what our founders wanted. They said that we should stay out of European wars, for example, whereas the other side of things typically is very, very pro engaging in foreign wars. These are just a couple of the examples, and that's why I also say he's the lesser of two evils, because he doesn't really keep his word a lot of the time. But in general, on a policy level, that's where I would support him. If there was a better option, I'd clearly support somebody else. But
Okay. All right. So I'm going to read this chat out loud just because they bring up a good point. Yogo said, wouldn't printing his own Bible be blasphemous?
Would what?
Wouldn't printing his own Bible be blasphemous?
Well, it wasn't his own Bible. It was a copy of another, and he incorporated the Constitution and branded it as his own. And in my opinion, Scripture is higher than the Constitution. Therefore, they should not be conjoined together. They should not be included in the Bible because it is not canon to the Bible. And that's where I would say he's pandering, and I disagree with the pandering.
So blasphemy, right?
Blasphemy that's not a blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. That's not what that is. That's actually the only unforgivable sin, as Christ states in the Gospels. That's not blasphemous. However, I do believe it is wrong. For instance, I would not say a Catholic Bible is not a Bible because they include the Apocrypha.
Okay.
So even though the Apocrypha is not traditionally canon in that sense, it is not a Bible.
All right, fair. And Travis just wanted to spam that he likes Trump a lot, so thanks, Travis, for the $7. Anyways, okay, so fine, we'll set aside the Bible. I think that is silly. That any president is continuing to make specific merchandise for themselves, especially when they're already president, like he's still making merchandise now. Now, what is the very first freedom that's granted to us in the First Amendment?
Freedom of speech.
I'm pretty sure it's freedom of religion.
It is included with that, yes.
No, I'm pretty sure those are two separate things. And so it's really the first one is, yes, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. So, yeah, no, religion, freedom of religion is the very first freedom allotted to us in the First Amendment. Also, thank you, CJ, so much for the $5 on the Green app. But can you give a very specific example of the Democratic Party going through, you used a specific word, I can't think of it, but alienating or attacking, see, that's a better word. Give a specific example of the Democratic Party attacking Christians.
Sure. So, if you want to go, I don't know, which era do you want to go into? I guess I would start with
the current era.
Sure. The current era, in let's say the past 5 years, they have openly promoted things that are against. So would you agree that this country was originally founded on Christian principles? And
No. Deism. The majority of the founding fathers were deists. And I believe that there's a very specific reason why the very first amendment that they created, the very first freedom that they granted to all individuals, was freedom of religion. They made it on purpose that was the very first one, that the country could not set an establishment of a religion or prohibit anyone from exercising the religion of their choice, which is freedom of religion.
Yes, that was in the context of Christianity, specifically with denominational problems. So there were several laws that were in place in the early colonies where you could not run for office if you were not some sect of Christianity, if you were not some denomination of Christianity, even all the way down to mayor. And so a lot of these, this was because we had Catholics coming in, we had Protestants coming in, we had Reformed people coming in. The Methodist was a big movement back then under Wesley. So there were a lot of denominational problems in the colonies. So when they said freedom of religion, it was freedom to the denomination of which you subscribe to. But the principles were all drawn from a general sense of Christianity.
There is no proof of that either way.
And so to get back to more to your question, for instance, abortion, homosexuality, transgenderism, all of these things are specifically against anything that Scripture teaches, and they will put people's personal choice above religious. And
awesome.
Religion
Scripture.
is...
What is the exact scripture that says abortion is wrong? What Bible verse specifically?
Okay. I'll read it off to you.
What Bible verse?
I'll pull it up right now for you.
Yep, be sure to give the verse first.
Oh, absolutely. You can start in Leviticus 24:17. Whoever takes a human life shall surely be put to death.
Doesn't say anything about a fetus being alive.
Well, it is.
No, that's your interpretation. It clearly says whoever takes a life. It doesn't, nowhere, here, I'm going to help you out with something. Nowhere in the Bible does it specifically say that abortion is wrong or that it's murder. Nowhere in the Bible does it specifically state that a fetus has life and is therefore alive and if qualifies under abortion as murder. If you look at Exodus 21 verse 22, it specifically states, right, that if a man strikes a woman and the only harm that if there is no additional harm except for there's different, of course, translations of this next part, but if no additional harm comes to her aside from aborting the fetus or her giving premature birth, then the only thing that's owed to the parents is monetary value as put forth by a judge. So by that interpretation, even then with Exodus, God only
we can go
gives,
to Psalm 139:13.
Still doesn't say that they're alive. That's David talking about how he was stitched together in the womb because David was a prophet of God. Similar, I'm sure you're going to bring up James 1:5 next, which again is just him talking specifically to James. And then I'm sure the next one you're also going to bring up is when Jesus was in the womb and Elizabeth felt him leap in Mary's womb. Also, again, specifically talking about Son, right? The Son of God, Jesus Christ. I'm going to help you out with something. There is literally nothing in the Bible that assigns all fetuses life or an attribute to life anywhere in the Bible. Nowhere in Scripture does it say it. In fact, you can even look at Numbers 5, verses 11 through 31, where it literally gives a recipe for it to give an abortion on a woman at the hands of God to cause a miscarriage. Now I would like you to tell me what Bible verse says that transgendered individuals are incorrect or wrong.
God made them male and female. All you have to do is read Genesis.
Oh, male and female, that's sex, right?
Sex and gender are the same thing.
They're not the same thing.
They are.
Have you ever had your karyotype testing done?
Your what?
You don't even know what your karyotypes are?
There is male and there is female.
Cool. What chromosomes make up male and what chromosomes make up female?
You have XX and XY.
Oh, wait. So are you forgetting that there's an additional 40 other makeups of chromosomes? So can I see your karyotype test, sir?
You are very condescending.
Oh, no, sir. You just don't know science.
And there's the condescension.
No, that's a statement of fact.
No.
You didn't know what karyotyping was. Karyotyping is for you to get your testing to see what your chromosomes are. Now, I'm just curious about something here, since it's just sex and gender are the exact same to you. And of course, you say that men have to have XY chromosomes, right? Correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So men can't give birth to children, correct?
Exactly.
Awesome. Are you aware that there's at least 6 incidents found just in the current century where a pure 46XY chromosome male gave birth to a child?
Since when does a mutation?
It's not a
create
mutation,
rule?
sir.
Since when are
No.
exceptions?
Do you realize
the
pure
rule?
46?
I find it funny how the left
Pure
likes to
46.
decide about
Hey, buddy.
how exceptions are now allowed to break
Okay. So I know people think that they can talk over me, but you legitimately cannot. So pure 46 XY chromosomes would actually be the purest form, in your opinion, of someone representing the gender or the sex of male. And considering the fact that in the current 21st century, we have had 6 instances of pure 46 XY chromosome karyotypes giving birth to a child proves the point that sex is not finite and neither is gender, sir. And there is nowhere in your Bible that says that transgendered individuals are incorrect or inherently wrong.
Just like disabilities are, just like retarded people are.
And
They're
we're done
mutations,
because
they're
you
not
said
the
a
rule.
slur. All right. You can't say the R word. That is a slur. And I'm going to help you all out. There is literally nothing in the Bible that is against that. It's not a mutation. These have existed for eons. All right. I've missed a lot. Okay. Jocular, thank you for the $5. Oh boy, that question hit a chord with me. My faith gets accused of printing its own Bible a ton. Major criticism of my faith from Christians. Thank you again for the $5. Yogo said, editing Word of God is pandering to Christians. Okay. Exactly. That's what he said. Editing the Word of God is pandering now. It's just pandering. Gabby says, making people so mad they pay you is a superpower. Girl, you know it. Another one said, it truly boggles my mind that Christians defend a man that broke every one of the 10 commandments. Well, he didn't break murder, but assuming you need to stick to the Old Testament, aka archaic, aka old ways of thinking. Exactly. Yes, Megan, I did get to that. I'm sorry it took me a while. Megan, of course, is 100% correct. Being trans is not an ism. They are people, not an ideology. His prejudice and his bigotry is in fact boring. Agreed. I agree 100% with Megan. Toei says, deists believe that a god exists but is dormant. Agreed. Agreed with that. Yes, okay. Maximus, thank you for the $5. I would love to know how he comes to the conclusion that rights are theists in origin, not a principle applied to religion after their inception. I wish I could have asked him that, but I couldn't. Because he used a slur. Kristen says, thank you for the $5. Christ didn't force people to believe. God gives us all freedom to choose. Genesis 2, we become a living being with the breath. Also correct. I breathe life into you, God said to Adam. None of them, Yogo, quite clearly none of them mention chromosomes. Phone lines are back open for someone that can be mature and not use a slur. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Well, howdy, yeah. How's it going?
Going good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. It's a bit hot down here, but, you know,
yeah,
it'll be summer.
Yeah, it's summer months. That's true. Did you vote for Trump?
I did, unfortunately.
Unfortunately? You don't really...
Well, it was like a lesser of two evil things. I mean, Kamala she was kind of retarded.
Don't say that
I hate to use the word.
No, don't say that word ever again. It is a slur. I do have to hang up on you. Thank you. Guys, let's get the likes up to 75,000 real quick. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
When were you born?
I was born in 2000.
Okay. Did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I did.
Do you still support him?
I do not.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you, man, but I am just looking for people that still support Trump. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there? Grow up. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yes.
All right. How old are you?
31.
Did you vote for Trump?
Yes. Both times.
All right. So in 2024?
I'm sorry?
You voted for him in 2024?
Yes, I did.
Sorry, I was just thinking you would have been old enough to vote in 2016 as well. So, anyways.
I did 2016. I voted for him. That was my second time voting, so I don't remember how old I was at 22.
Okay, cool. You still support him?
Yes.
All right. What's your main reason for still supporting Trump?
The primary reason for me is strength of military. So we are, last year, we were 20% undermanned in terms of recruiting goals. So we couldn't maintain a healthy military. And then this year, we're actually ahead. The Space Force is fully recruited for this year. The Air Force is on track to hit targets by the end of this month. Army met their deadline ahead of time. Marines met their recruitment goals ahead of time. And then he just helped coordinate one of the
I just want to clear up the air because that's incorrect. You can look at army.mil. You can also look at navy.mil. All say that the fiscal year 2024 exceeded expectations. They actually had a 14% increase in enlistments in 2024 compared to 2022 across the entire DoD.
Okay, well then there you go. I'll give you that one, but it doesn't change the fact that
and the people that are coming in now as officers into the military joined or signed up under Biden's administration because now they've completed their 4 years in school.
That's not how that works.
It is.
That's not how that works.
It is.
Oh, you served?
Officers? Yes, sir.
Yeah,
they complete school.
No.
They get their
so
4-year degree.
You are speaking directly to service academies, okay? You can join the military as an officer, not from a service academy, okay? So let's just start there. I get what you're saying, but you're talking about
the graduating class that Donald Trump spoke at just recently this year, I want to say like last month around this time, they all specifically enlisted in 2021 under Biden.
Was it a service academy?
No, it was a regular academy, dude. It was literally like a 4-year academy.
So what school was it then?
Let me see. Hopefully I still have it in my notes.
I mean, you should be able to Google it.
Trying to help you out, bro.
I mean, I know how this stuff works. I live it. Yeah. So I get what you're saying. I'm not going to... Anyone from the Service Academy 2021, sure, I'll give it to you. But you also can't take away the fact that he helped coordinate one of the best tactical strikes in all of U.S. history.
Oh, yeah, you're familiar with West Point?
Yes. Oh, geez. Thank you for proving my point. That's a service academy, dude. What are we talking about here? You don't even know what a service academy is. West Point is the most distinguished service academy of all. Like, what are we talking about here?
And when did they sign up, sir?
Yes, that is okay.
Under Biden?
Okay, you
they signed up under Biden.
How the military works. Yes, and I have a degree, right?
I could walk into an office right now and go sign up as an officer because you don't
No, I'm aware of that. If you already have a degree, yes, you can go in and sign up as an officer. But when you're specifically talking to West Point graduation ceremony on May 24th of 2025, these cadets are the ones that entered in to service under the Biden administration. He also spoke in Alabama and in Georgia. Same thing. They all entered in under the Biden administration. I'm not denying that, yeah, maybe some recruitment is up, but for him to take credit for the graduating classes that entered in under Biden and signed up under Biden that had no way of knowing who was going to become president in the year 2024, that disproves your claim because Donald Trump is taking credit for the graduating cadets.
Okay.
At military academies.
I get, okay. Do you know the percentage of West Point graduates that make up all of the military officers?
Go ahead and tell me. It sounds like you know.
10%. So again,
okay, but I also gave you Alabama and Georgia.
But if you put them all together, you're not going to get 50%. And what, again, you cannot speak to service academies. If you say service academies, okay, yes, 2021, so Biden can get credit from 2021 to essentially this year, right? So we'll say, I'll even give you a huge bump. We'll say 25%. But the rest of that has to come from people that look at an administration and say, this is a strong administration, hence why we are ahead of recruiting goals. Recruiting goals also do not apply to the West Point graduates. We're talking about people that walk into an office.
Oh, no, I'm talking about specifically your claim that these are up, right? And that Donald Trump is taking credit for all of these graduating classes that he went to, saying that they joined because of me. And I'm explaining to you that that is inherently wrong when, again, they all signed up under Joe Biden.
Well, my claim was that we met the recruitment goals early. That's what my claim was, which is true. All the services this year, 2025, under President Trump. I'm not talking about stuff from 2021. I'm talking about right now. Enlisted people, you think enlisted people can say 4 years out? No, it doesn't work that way. So when somebody enlists, right, we'll just say enlist, not officers, somebody enlists. If they enlist when they're 17, right, that counts towards the recruitment goals of that year. So for us to hit the 2025 goals early means that Trump gets the credit, right? So anything from, even if you say 2024 up till December 31st, Trump cannot get the credit. It really can't get credit until inauguration, if we're being completely honest. But right now, we're soaring ahead. We have one of the best Secretary of Defenses in the history of the military. He's out there PTing with the Marines, and he's setting a fantastic example.
The DUI hire?
The DUI hire? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
What? So he makes a mistake, and all of a sudden he doesn't qualify for
Oh, it's not just making a mistake, sir. I don't think that anyone that says that women shouldn't serve in combat roles when they fought tooth and nail in order to serve in combat roles is kind of a POS.
So, give me your justification.
I just did.
As to what justification for women serving in combat roles?
Women fought for that right in order to serve in combat roles. They argued for it. They wanted it.
And they do, by the way.
And they do. I know.
They have them.
Correct.
My wife serves in a combat role. So
good for you and your wife.
I mean, it's like
and I'm saying that I don't think it's right for the Secretary of Defense to then make a statement and say that women shouldn't serve in combat roles after women fought for the equal right to serve their country in the same way as men, being out on the front lines. Why should I support someone that wants to roll back what women fought for?
Let me ask you a question. Let's say you're, and please don't take this like I'm just for an example, right? Let's say you're 6 foot. Well, we'll just say you're my size. We'll say You're 5'9", okay, and I weigh about $155, soaking wet. Okay, so no gear. Right now, add your kit, add your bullets, add all the things that you got to go take to combat. Okay, so now you're sitting at closer to about 210. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want? And then now
did you tell your wife that this is how you feel about her?
100%, 1,000%, because my wife is not picking up a 200-pound male. Are you?
Nah. That literally, I just said, like, did you ask your wife? Yes, women have to hit the exact same standards. Women can bench press more than men. Like, they exist. It's not existent. Like, they exist. Do women just scare you? Do women just scare men? Is that what it is? Are we just scary? That's a funny one, Trey. Nuh-uh. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Yeah.
How old are you?
26.
I'm sorry, how old?
26.
36?
26. 26.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I couldn't hear you very well. I'm sorry. Did you vote for Trump?
Yes.
Do you still support him?
Yes.
Why?
Just because I like the way he runs our military.
Okay. Are you enlisted?
No.
Do you plan on enlisting?
Not anytime soon, no.
What's the cutoff age? Do you know?
Well, I haven't really looked into enlisting, so I don't know that.
Oh, sounds like you should look that up if you have any interest in enlisting at any point in time, because there actually is a cutoff age.
I wasn't interested in enlisting.
Oh, so then why would you be interested in the might of our military if you're not interested in serving?
Because I know that if Trump was our leader and he was strong enough or had the smarts enough to know what to do when at war, I know that he will keep our country safe.
Is that why he made a deal in his very first presidency to release 5,000 Taliban soldiers back into Afghanistan, who then proceeded to overthrow the government in Afghanistan, and that led to the unalivement of 13 soldiers in Afghanistan during the pullout? Okay, I would hang up too. $42 with no kids. At home, Taylor, is the cutoff. Real quick, guys. Real quick. Just a friendly reminder to YouTube. If you send a super chat, it does go right up on the screen. If you become a member, that also goes right up on the screen. We do have those available. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Alright, guys. TikTok, can we clear this gift goal real quick? It's been up for like 40 minutes. Let's go ahead and get it done. Appreciate y'all. Don't forget to follow, send a heart me, collect your points, and subscribe if you want to. I didn't want to do that. Phone lines are back open. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there? Drink some tea, man. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
Well, howdy. How's it going?
Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there? I don't want to talk to the same person.
You're blocked.
Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there? Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there? Yeah.
Yeah, hello.
Hi, how old are you?
I'm 23. How old are you?
Early 30s. When were you born?
2002.
Cool. Did you vote for Trump?
I did, but I'm actually just here. I was listening, and I wanted to talk to you about the women in combat rules.
No, choose a different subject.
Well, they don't have the same standards as men.
Choose
Simple.
a different subject.
Why? You don't want to be wrong on camera?
Dude, you know what is the difference between me and most MAGA is I don't care if I'm wrong on camera. I will fully admit that if I've made a mistake, and I will fully admit if I've said something wrong. The fact
I was a
is,
veteran in
the
the combat
fact
role,
is,
and I
the
served
fact
with
is, the
women trying
fact
to get
is,
through, and they don't have the same standards, and they fail them. So they
what's
don't
your
have the same
MOS?
standards.
What's your MOS?
Huh?
What
I
branch
was
in
a
your
air
MOS?
crewman. Huh? I was the air crew wet.
What's your code, sir?
My code? What do you mean my code? AWS?
There you
You
go.
mean my rate?
Yes, you're right.
A code. My code.
Oh,
Got my DOD ID. You want my DOD ID, ma'am?
No, don't dox yourself, but you can give your rank.
I was an E5.
Yeah. And then where were you, not where you stationed. So what was your job?
What do you mean? What was my job?
You know
not the
exactly
debate.
what I'm
Debate
looking
is-
for.
Yes, I mean, we're not here to talk about my job. We're here to talk
You
about
know
the
exactly
difference
what I'm
between women
looking
and-
for.
No, I don't.
You do.
What are you looking for?
So when you're Air Force, I'm already aware of some of these things.
I was
I
an
don't.
Air Force.
You
not
just
Air
said
Force.
you were.
No, I didn't. I said I was an air crewman, you shithead.
Oh, I'm a shithead. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, you
So
can't
you're
listen.
saying you're Navy?
Yeah, did you hear me?
Cool. Then you still have, guess what? You have a
What?
specific ranking title, right? So like some people could be,
Did you hear me? I said I was AWS.
yeah, that's what I asked for. And then you just started screaming at me.
No, you said what's my code like a retard.
And you can't use that word. I also highly
Why
suggest
not?
that,
Retard,
dude, it's a slur.
Retard. What are you gonna cry?
I'm not gonna cry, but you're a disgusting human being. Thanks for calling the stream. Are you there?
I'm here.
How old are you?
32.
Did you vote for Trump?
I did.
All right. Do you still support him?
On some things, yes, until the Epstein files come out, and if he's found guilty, then he needs to be hung with the rest of them.
All right. Sounds good.
So at least I'm consistent on my morals.
Yeah, no problem. Really quickly, thank you. Another one for the $9.99. In the age of information, the most ignorant folks surface among callers, assuming we are recruiting more now. The VA benefits are being taken away. Why bother signing up? Good points. Very good point. I'll leave that up there for a moment. Okay. So what is the main reason that you still support Trump?
Oh, military strength through shows of force, and then economy, and you going after our adversarial nations that are not supporting us and are trying to drain us, and try to put the pressure to them.
Can you remind me what, because you said you made a very particular comment about show of force. Can you remind me what Donald Trump campaigned on specifically when it comes to wars?
Well, he campaigned mostly on his previous administration not starting new wars, and he wanted to be a peace president.
Yeah, and he kept it going the entire time, saying no new wars, there will be no new wars under me, which does involve not having a show of strength, as you called it.
A show of strength is not necessarily a declaration of war.
Oh, okay. So why did we bomb Iran?
To knock out their nuclear capabilities.
Why did we get involved in a 12-day war that Donald Trump himself called a 12-day war?
Well, just because Donald Trump misspoke, I believe that the United States and Iran have actually been at war for as long as we can remember, really, since the 80s.
It wasn't a misspeak, sir, because Bibi Netanyahu and the the Ayatollah of Iran both called it a 12-day war, and Donald Trump parroted that.
They can call it all they want, but
It was still considered a 12-day war by two heads of state for their countries and by our head of state of our country. And my biggest hang up with this, and you want to talk about show of force, is the fact that Donald Trump admitted, went out on his True Social and told everyone that he plans Bibi Netanyahu's attack on Iran, before we even drop bombs on the nuclear sites, that he planned it. So that means he got directly involved in a war after he promised everyone to not be involved in a war ever in his administration.
Well, he he promised to not start new wars.
No, he
if I
also
remember
promised to stop defunding wars too. Instead, we also sent F-15s to Israel to help them out a part of their war with Iran, which is funding their war. We spent $3 million on the 6 bombs that were the bunker busters that were on the B-2 bombers. $3 million each, sir. That's us spending money on a foreign war. We're also now actively going to be sending money to Ukraine, even though Donald Trump said he wasn't going to be spending any money on any foreign wars, including Ukraine. But instead, we still are. And he also he also never cut off spending to Israel. He's actually the one that started it back up after Joe Biden made it one of his last acts of office to stop sending bombs and money to Israel. Donald Trump started it back up. We are now actively sending $3.3 billion a day. Sorry, $1 million a day. No, let me not misspeak. $3.3 million a day on Israel.
Yeah. So if we're going to go off that, are you saying that the Democrats don't do the same, considering that Barack Obama bombed a country that we weren't at war with and killed an American citizen?
Oh, dude, we're talking about this active administration. I'm not saying, the Democrats are perfect. I'm talking about someone's very specific campaign promise that he broke on his very first day in office when he again signed in to send the appropriated money to Israel. Do I agree that Congress should have appropriated all of that money to Israel? Absolutely fucking not. The Democrats have a part of that, which is why I'm not a Democrat, sir, nor am I a Republican. I'm not a leftist and nor am I a right person. I don't give a shit about either party. Yeah, but that doesn't invalidate what I'm talking about when I'm saying he broke his own campaign promise.
Okay. So you don't think that a show of force from the United States military is necessary in order to prevent an actual war from hitting the homeland?
No, that was absolutely not necessary. Let's try this. Can a nuclear weapon or any bomb from Iran reach United States? Yes or no?
Honestly, we don't know. We don't have the intelligence.
We do. The answer is no.
Okay, so you know that you've seen whether or not they have the capabilities in order to launch a missile from either Iran or from the Atlantic.
No, it just can't reach us, dude.
And
this
how do
has
you know
been it's because it's been studied. You can find it.
It's been studied, but then again, the United States military has been studied by its own people, and we don't even know the actual capabilities that we have.
They don't have the ICBM technology, sir.
No, but other countries that they're allied with, and even if that's true, I'm going to grant that that's true. Even if that is true, there are other countries that they're allied with that they do have the capabilities in order to hit us. And you don't think that they're going to arm them as well, just like we arm our allies?
Sure, let's test that logic to see if you know something. What's the shortest flight path for any missile being shot from China to America?
The shortest flight path as far as the direction or as far as the actual coordinates? Or the time taken? The direction, the shortest path is probably going to be going across everything and then going in through the Atlantic and hitting the United States on the east coast.
Incorrect. It's the Arctic, sir. This is also proven and findable and researched.
So, going in a parabolic arc and going into the Arctic and then coming down on the western coast.
Going over the Arctic. Flight path for a missile, sir, is going over the Arctic. You see how you don't know what you're talking about?
Well, an ICBM enters space and then comes down and goes from there, so that's different. So you said missile. I didn't think you said ICBM.
No, you just said that they have allies that can provide them to them, and that would be China or Russia. And again, the shortest flight path for those two countries is over the Arctic. So I was trying to test your knowledge, and you still don't have it there.
Okay, so you're denying the fact that Russia claims that they have hypersonic missiles then?
Again, that doesn't invalidate what I just said.
It does, actually, because hypersonics don't fly into the atmosphere. So their path is taken on the path of least resistance.
Sure, that's
they
what
can
you
go
think.
through the ocean through submarines, and I understand that Iran doesn't have submarines, but they can be loaned out just like anything else we loan out to Israel or to Ukraine or anywhere else. And if they use it, it'd be
And
kind
what's
of a
the name
false
of
flag
that
attack
strait that's right there next to Iran? What's the name of that strait? What's the name of that body of water?
The Strait of Hormuz?
Awesome. You do know something.
Okay.
Do we not
Just
have military intelligence overseeing the Strait of Hormuz?
Yes, we have a lot of military.
Oh, okay, so we would be able to know
Do they
if
have to go
Russia
through the Strait of
somehow
Hormuz?
got them. We would happen to know that if Russia somehow got them a submarine, we would see it, or at least be able to test it.
Not
Oh, thank
necessarily,
you,
because
Paul,
they don't
for
have to
sending
go-
out 5 memberships. That was so sweet.
Because they wouldn't necessarily have to go through a port of entry that enters into their jurisdiction. They could also go to the east coast of Asia and then launch it from there under their flag.
Oh, okay, so just that they sent the flag along with them, no soldiers, and that what they
The flag-
did
the
buy
flag and the
soldiers
crew.
from China?
A flag and a crew.
How did the crew get there?
The crew got there from traveling inland and going across and not going through a port of entry that goes through their
Sounds like a lot of
jurisdiction.
work. Nice hypothetical.
It is a lot of work.
So what show of force is now going to stop Iran from ever hitting back at the United States for the shit that Donald Trump pulled?
Constantly making sure that they can't enrich uranium past 60%.
We didn't make sure of anything, sir.
You say that, but military reports say otherwise.
Military reports show that only one site suffered significant damage, and it still only set them back by 6 months to 2 years.
And that's a great talking point if it's true.
It is true. The only
How
people
much
that
time
say
does it take for a
otherwise,
nuclear facility?
the only people that say otherwise is literally Donald Trump, Caroline Leavitt, J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, and Pete Hegseth. The people that are literally
Pete
paid
Hegseth
to
is who?
parrot, the people that are literally paid to parrot Donald Trump's talking points. Every other report says otherwise. Every other piece of intelligence says otherwise. You know what I will wait on to hear to see if we actually gave them a significant blow? I will wait on, guess what, foreign countries to evaluate it and issue their report, because then I know it's not going to be paid and bought for by Donald J. Trump.
Okay, so you're going to rely on foreign reports more so than our own intelligence agency when we have the most powerful intelligence agency in the world.
When the intelligence agency currently, and we don't have the most powerful intelligence agency in the world, that's a fucking wild statement. There's a reason why we support Israel the way that we do, because of their intelligence agency. So you're ridiculous. And I don't even like Israel, and I'm saying that, okay? But
Well,
no,
I
I'm
would
going
say
to
I would agree with you on that.
I'm going to rely on a third party that's not bought and paid for by Donald J. Trump, because what we have is Pentagon and it's Pentagon and the DOD saying something different than the heads of state, right? They're saying something different. Both of them are. So I'm not going to believe either one of them. I'm going to wait for an international body to say something otherwise. I think that makes more sense.
Well, you're saying that obviously whoever commits a strike on any plan of attack, like when it comes to Russia to Ukraine, Putin's going to say that their attack was very effective in all this, and then Ukraine's going to come back and say no, it wasn't really effective at all. There's merit to what you said. I'm giving you that. However, so exactly which
because the
organization
Ayatollah of Iran says that they weren't very negative, they weren't impacted very much.
And the Ayatollah of Iran also said that they weren't trying to trying to develop nuclear weapons either, which they have been since the 80s, don't it?
No, we don't, because Bibi Netanyahu's been saying the same thing since 1992, that Iran was just 2 weeks away from developing nuclear weapons. What we know is that when the JCPOA was actually signed under the Obama administration and all the reports came out, they were staying under a 10% enrichment level. They didn't go above that until 2019, the year after Donald Trump pulled us out of the JCPOA. And Iran basically said, fuck this. No, dude, this is all from the IAEA reports. Or even then, if you look at compare the IAEA reports that show that they hit 60% enrichment in 2021, that they haven't gone above that 60% enrichment level, even as far back as, or as recent as May 2025, sir.
Okay. So you're saying that they were able to develop their enrichment program from 10% to 60% in
because
5 years?
Yeah, because of Donald Trump, and then they didn't move past that 60% according to IAEA reports.
Okay. So that makes no sense to me, considering that if they had no
You can say
intention
that.
from the beginning, when they developed it, an enrichment program, if they had no design whatsoever to use it as a weapon, then were they able to complete that in 5 years, having no knowledge of any kind of nuclear weapons technology, and in only 5 years, which you can't take anybody who has no knowledge of anything and then give them the basic blueprints in order to design a nuclear weapon, and in 5 years' time develop a weapon or try to enrich uranium to a certain
There you
point
go.
where
I
it
was
could be
about
used
ready to
as a
correct you. There's literally no proof that they have any plans of getting the enriched uranium to nuclear capacity. Zero proof. Again, they had an additional 4 years to make it up to that point, and they did not move past that 60% enrichment level. They have the scientists, or had them, to do it prior to Israel killing off some of them, right? We know that. Right? Because they were able to get to that 60%. Either way, they still got to that 60% from 2019 to 2021, stayed at 60% for the last 4 years, according to IAEA's report. And then, of course, let's not forget, Kristi Noem herself, Tulsi Gabbard, that's who it is. Tulsi Gabbard herself said in March that we had nothing to show that they were going to be making nuclear weapons in March. And it wasn't until after Donald Trump said, I don't care what Tulsi Gabbard said, she's wrong, even though she's the director of national intelligence. Apparently, national intelligence isn't doing very good and not communicating very well with the president of the United States. And only after that he said that she's wrong, she doesn't know what she's talking about, did Tulsi Gabbard change her tune, because wow, Donald Trump is telling me I'm wrong, so I must be wrong, so let me change my tune. This is why I say that all of our heads of state right now are bought and paid for by Donald J. Trump, because they literally changed their mind, changed their story based off of his whims.
Okay, so are you saying that we need to be completely just anti-interventionist in everything across the world, which I would agree with to an extent?
No, I just don't agree with dropping bombs on a foreign country that didn't do anything to us specifically in that moment, when it was something that Israel started. So, for example, we would never support Russia directly going after Ukraine. We didn't support Russia through that. We were helping the person that was the transgressions occurred upon, correct?
Yes, we were helping Ukraine, yes.
Correct. Awesome. So why would we support the aggressor between Israel and Iran? I'm not saying we should help the ones that were transgressed upon. We absolutely should not help Iran. But why the fuck should we help the aggressor continue their attack on them? Because that's exactly what we did.
I agree with you on that. Like, I think that Israel,
it's a poor
if Israel
show of
wants to
force.
start these wars, that they need to stand on their own.
Yeah,
I don't think we need to fund Israel, and I don't think we need to fund Ukraine. So I am anti-interventionist in that sense.
Yeah, here's how it's a poor show of force, is because Russia spoke out against it. China spoke out against it. Brazil spoke out against it. The BRICS nations spoke out against what the United States did. Many nations spoke.
It wasn't. Are always going to speak out against it.
BRICS is just an economic coalition. They have nothing. They have no guarantee of defense coalitions.
NATO started off as an economic coalition as well. The military standard of it increased over time. So the BRICS nations are doing the exact same thing, and they're trying to use it to counter NATO. Which I don't agree with NATO.
Don't get me
wrong.
That's not what BRICS is about. BRICS is specifically, and also you're wrong about what NATO originally was formed for. You're entirely wrong. BRICS was only formed to combat the Western dollar. That was it.
Okay,
they wanted to take over.
What does NATO stand for?
North Atlantic Trade Organization? Treaty? What's the T?
Yes. So it started off as a trade organization, which granted, during the Berlin
Treaty Organization,
the Lend-Lease and everything else, that after all of that happened, treaty organization.
And it was always a collective defense pact.
Mm-hmm. Just like BRICS.
BRICS is not a defense pact. They have no defense alliance to each other. They only are an economic pact.
Okay, so if that's the case, then I'm gonna pull out something from just a basic anecdotal.
I know. I admitted I said trade instead of treaty, and I corrected that. I was like, wait, trade, and I was like, no, treaty, and then I was like, hold on, what's the T for? Yeah, treaty. I was right the second way around.
So, in Ukraine, who is manufacturing the drones that the Russians are using against the Ukrainians?
Oh, I know it's
And there's
Iran.
been evidence of this.
Oh, I know it's Iran. Yeah, I'm not dumb.
And so when it comes to the computer
What's the
technology
I
that goes
in
into
what's
a
the
lot-
I in BRICS?
I actually don't know. Please enlighten me.
Do you, oh, what country do you think it is?
Iran?
No, it's India.
India. Okay. Which we all know too that India is decided they're going to side with Russia if anything actually happens, and that's fine to each their own. However, I'm saying that if you're saying that they're a non-aggression pact, or not a non-aggression pact, but they kind of are. If they're saying they're not an adversarial organization being BRICS, then why is it that we find that there are military equipment and technologies that are being traded within all of the BRICS nations to each other in order to fight against the Western Front? There are Western nations, I should say, not the Western Front, sorry.
Oh, you think that they only trade within each other? You would be inherently
No,
wrong
they
from the
trade with a lot of other people. They have to. It's just like China. China trades with just about everybody because they're trying to make more money to do it.
Oh, okay. Can you?
Are you saying so? Are you saying that Iran and China and Russia, are you trying to say that they are not adversarial nations to the U.S.?
Yes, to a degree, yes, they are. I'm not saying that, but I'm explaining to you. BRICS, again, is not a defense organization. They are literally like, here, I'll even just read it to you about BRICS, right? The idea of BRICS was formulated by chief economists at Goldman Sachs, a United States company, building better global economic BRICS. It became an analytical category in economic, financial, business, academic, and media circles. It's literally an economic coalition.
And what was Soviet Russia told about the formation of NATO after the victory against the Germans? Because they were fighting the Germans at the end.
NATO was created specifically to be a defense shield against the USSR.
Mm-hmm. But what was Russia told? It was not told to them that they were being defended against by the other nations of Western Europe and the entire Western civilization.
Really? Hey, what was going on for the United States between it's really for, the United States specifically, we'll just stick with the United States, 1945 through 1991. What was that period called?
That would be the Cold War.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And
so how would they not know what NATO was about?
Because there's a trade agreement that was set by the United Kingdom and the United States, and Russia was not involved in it, even though they were seen as victors in World War II as well. They caught on fairly quickly. Why was Russia not brought into the pact? Why were they left to be on their own? In that sense,
in what
they
year?
had no trade agreement with any other nations except
in
for
what
other.
Year? What year are you referencing?
I'm referencing every year.
So just when it wasn't Russia, when it was the USSR, when it was the Soviet Union.
I'm saying that even now, it doesn't matter. Even after '93, after the Soviet Union fell, they still were kept out of all trade agreements from the U.S.
It wasn't a trade agreement.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know where people get their information from, but it sounds like you need to get off Russian state propaganda, sir. Do you also hold on. Why let's try this. Ahead. Let's try this real quick. Why do you believe Russia invaded Ukraine?
I believe that they wanted the control over Crimea and they wanted to get rid of it. First of all, let's preface with this, okay? I was there. Okay, I was fucking there. So there's that. Now, I believe that the Russians wanted to create a borderland between them and Crimea so they can keep on with their ports in Crimea. Second of all, the secondary effect of it, I do believe that they do want to reinstate the Soviet Union in some sense because they lost a lot of power after the Soviet Union collapsed. They lost a lot of economic power. They had no trade power really necessarily, except for to their allied nations. They want to be able to impose a show of force to the rest of the world so that the rest of the world will start trading with them again to help bring up their dollar because their economy is crashing right now.
All right. So what does Putin say about why they invaded Ukraine, and do you believe it?
They believe that it was NATO encroachment because they thought that, or at least from what Putin has said, It was NATO encroachment, and they thought that Ukraine was going to be enveloped by NATO, and they would have basically an enemy on their doorstep.
Okay. And do you believe that?
No, because I don't think NATO ever would have accepted Ukraine, considering Ukraine is so backwards in itself. I mean, I don't believe we should be supporting Ukraine because they are just as corrupt, if not more, than the Russians, considering they're a small nation but somehow have this advanced power. I don't understand how that works without some kind of shady shit going on. Now, I believe that Putin, he's KGB during the Cold War, and he wants to reinstate the Soviet Union for the power that it brings Russia, because it did bring Russia a lot of power when it comes to industry and when it comes to trade. However, I think that was just an excuse saying that NATO encroachment was the reason for it, because that's going back to like when we took the missiles out of Turkey and they took the missiles out of I'm drawing a blank. But the end of not the end of the Cold War, but basically the start of the easement of it.
Cool. So the encroachment of NATO is Putin's position. What happens if Russia takes over Ukraine?
Honestly, I don't think anything happens, except for that Russia gains more agricultural land and has more facilities or more industrial
Wouldn't
capacity.
NATO be right on their border even more so?
Well, they would be, but that would be Russia's encroachment that increased that. Now, like the Ukraine itself, Ukraine actually means the borderland, so I hope they would set up some kind of buffer zone. Okay. But it's just like Belarus. Belarus is its own independent nation, however, it's still controlled by Russia. It's just
Yeah,
the same
that's
with,
because of Lukashenko and his agreements with Putin.
Yes. However, I really don't think that Russia really wants a war with the West. And I don't think the West wants a war with Russia. I mean, it's not just the mad doctrine when it comes to nuclear arms. It comes to the mad doctrine of just the draining of funds that it requires to annex countries into your own.
I don't think so. Cool. Yeah, so do you believe that there was ever this agreement signed between NATO and Russia that NATO would not, go further east?
Yeah, basically the territorial defense pact. Yes, I do agree that there was a treaty that was signed.
Oh, okay.
But
where can I find this treaty?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Oh, I'll help you out. You can't, because it doesn't exist. I'm just curious if you know, who was president of Russia at the time of this supposed treaty signing?
Gorbachev.
What did Gorbachev say in 2014 when Putin used that supposed treaty signing as his reason to invade Crimea?
He called him a liar.
Right, because he said that it doesn't exist and that the only conversation that they had was very specific in regards to the reunification of East and West Germany.
Yes.
Cool. So have you ever heard of the NATO-Russia Founding Act of 1997, sorry.
Oh,
it's okay to say
no. Actually, please. Yeah, I was going to say no, so please enlighten me.
Yeah, so the important thing at the very bottom of the NATO-Russia Founding Act of 1997 is that it clearly says that NATO will continue to expand eastward to all European democracies that want to join the treaty agreement with them.
Okay, so
and that this signing of that specific pact had no restriction on their expansion, and they will continue to expand eastward. And guess what? Russia signed on to that agreement, acknowledging the fact that they were going to continue to expand eastward. And if it was such a big deal that NATO applied to, do you happen to know the very first time that NATO even applied to join, Ukraine applied to join NATO?
That was 2016, wasn't it?
Wrong.
Okay, then, like I said, please enlighten me. I'm willing to admit that I'm wrong
Sure.
on certain things that I'm wrong on.
Really quickly, so it was 2008 was the very first time, right? And that was when Yanukovych was president. So really quickly, this is to a comment. Somewhat Informed said yes, but Russia said NATO would not be on their border whenever NATO refused to let Russia join without giving a reason. Incorrect. So let me explain this to you and everybody else that's listening. Russia never applied to join NATO. Russia told NATO you should want us in your agreement, but they never actually submitted an application. So therefore, it was never under review for the other countries to say yes or no to them joining NATO. So no reason was expected to be given because Russia, in fact, never actually applied to join NATO. What happened was, in 1994, Russia and every singular country on Russia's border in Europe signed on to this agreement called the Partnership for Peace Program. And again, this includes Russia in 1994, where basically they agreed that they were going to respect the sovereign borders that were already recognized. They weren't going to try to take over any other country, and that by signing the Partnership for Peace Program, it could put any country that signed it on a track, as long as they meet the requirements of having a democracy, on a track to become a part of NATO. If they had followed through with that, and in 2008, if they had never tried to invade Georgia and help the separatists move it in Georgia, maybe Russia could have actually joined. But in fact, they've never actually had a real democracy. And that's part of why that Russia would never join. Yeah, it's always been a dictatorship. Exactly. Even Guest understands it. So there's a very specific reason why Russia wasn't going to be able to join, but they also just never applied. They just basically said, you should want us to join NATO. That's what Russia said. And then Russia became fearful of the West, and they started BRICS, which again, it's going to be Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa are all the primary BRICS nations, the founders of the BRICS economic coalition. But again, let's be clear, if it was going to be this big issue that Russia was against NATO expanding, and Finland has a water port just 20 kilometers away from a Russian naval port.
And Russia's already fought a war against Finland and lost.
Right, but why didn't they fight when Finland applied to join NATO in 2023?
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that they were waiting to see what the West would do. If Finland would have applied and they got denied, then that would have been us holding up our end of the bargain when it come to the non-NATO.
The bargain didn't exist.
Okay. So you're saying that Russia signed an agreement that allowed NATO to encroach on their borders and be right next to their borders.
Yes, the NATO-Russian Founding Act of 1997. And we see that when, again, Poland joined, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania all joined NATO. And those three Baltic countries are all right there on Russia's border. But they didn't stop them when they tried to join NATO in 2004, and they successfully joined NATO in 2004. Instead, in 2008, when Ukraine actually applied to join NATO the first time, what happened was Russia backed the separatist movements in Georgia and invaded Georgia instead of attacking Ukraine. Ukraine didn't apply to join NATO in 2014. Do you know the next time that they actually applied to join NATO?
I do not.
September of 2022, sorry.
Okay, so I did know that one. I thought there was something sooner from 2008 to 2042.
Nope, they didn't. Because in 2014, that's when Yanukovych got kicked out. Right? And then they brought in a new president. And he was just kind of as bad. A little bit better than Yanukovych instead of being a Russian asset sitting in Ukraine. Because just so everybody knows, when he got kicked out, he escaped to Belarus and now currently lives in Russia. Yeah. So they didn't apply to join NATO after Russia took over Crimea at gunpoint. They didn't apply to join until after a full invasion.
Sorry.
Cool. What's Jocular say here? Oh, where's my mouse? I lost my mouse. Anyways, Russia was scared for another Shimo Haya would come for their buns. Just kidding.
Yeah, the White Death, Simahaya.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyways, I feel as though you need to learn a little bit more. The show of force that we supposedly had with bombing Iran didn't really do anything. It just pissed people off. And if you're really so afraid or have this fear that BRICS is somehow a military coalition or an agreement, then we should have never bombed Iran because they did in fact join BRICS. I don't remember what year they joined BRICS, but they did. And so therefore we do have some major military forces that are looking at us sideways. Russia and China.
Yeah. So
China is projected to pass us in military superiority, or at least match us by 2028.
Yeah. So my main point when it comes to a show of force, okay? So do you agree that Russia, China, Iran, and not so much India because we're trade partners with India, but or at least to some extent, are you saying that Russia, China, and Iran, are you saying that they are not adversarial nations to the U.S. or to the rest of the Western world?
Those three countries, yes.
Okay. So when it comes to that, do you not think that they would lie about their capabilities in order to keep us under tow?
Again,
like
we're not, when it comes to Iran, we're not just relying on their word, on their own capabilities. We're relying on an independent agency, international agency that was performing audits. As far as China and Russia, Russia is a little bit hindered at the moment, except for their nuclear capacity, which again, their shortest flight path to the United States from Russia with nuclear capacity would be over the Arctic. We're going to know about it before it gets to us because of our agreement with NORAD, for as long as that upholds, at least.
Mm-hmm. But even with that, sir, are you saying that you're disproving, or you can disprove Russia's claims to hypersonic missiles?
Oh, thank you, Seth, for becoming a paid subscriber on TikTok. Repeat that last one.
So are you are you able to disprove Russia's claims of having hypersonic missiles that we can't detect? I mean, we can detect them, but not before it's too late. That's what they claim.
I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm just saying, like, as of right now, we could. We could potentially detect it with our agreement with NORAD, our agreement with Canada, because again, their flight path would have to go over the Arctic.
Not with hypersonics. There are hypersonics that they claim that Russia has claimed that they had, that goes underneath the surface of the ocean and can pop up and then hit the coast without having to use we couldn't use sonar or radar in order to detect them in flight.
Okay. If they say they have that, then sure, yeah, then I guess we have a reason to be fearful. I just don't believe in living my life in fear.
Well, I'm not saying to be fearful. I'm just saying that when it comes to an adversarial nation, obviously it's not going to give us all the details. And even you had already claimed that we don't have the best intelligence agency,
we don't.
Which I still think we do. But that's fine. We have a point of disagreement on that. However,
no, here's how I know we don't have the best intelligence agencies, because we rely on other intelligence networks in order to boost our own, which is why, again, we fund Israel because of their Mossad, and then also why we have a partnership with Interpol, right? So, like, we rely on other intelligence networks to get by. It's not just us.
I know. I'm not saying that it's just us. I'm just saying, so with what you have said, so you're saying that we don't have the best intelligence agency, which I may disagree with, but just going off of your point. So you're saying that we don't have the best intelligence agency, we don't know everything that's going on, we rely on other sources to give us information, and I do believe that other sources can be corrupted and, paid off, especially when it comes to Mossad. I'm not a fan of Israel.
Stick around, Bravo, because I am going to address this and how you're wrong.
If you're saying that we don't have the best intelligence information from other countries, especially adversarial nations, then why would you not believe that we were at threat when it comes to the adversarial nations that I'm talking about? And like I said before, it's like Iran doesn't need to have a submarine delivered to them from Russia and then put it into a port of entry or a port that borders their country in order to have that happen. If they really wanted to make things happen, they could go anywhere on the eastern coast of Asia, and they can launch it off of there. So if we don't have the good intelligence, and if we don't have an understanding of what our adversarial nations are doing, even though you admitted that they are adversarial nations, then how can you confidently say that Russia or China or Iran have nothing for us to be afraid of? And I'm not saying to live in fear, I'm just saying to watch out for.
Oh, Bravo wants to tell you that you can't have hypersonics underwater.
That's what they claimed. I'm just going off of what they have claimed and what their tests have shown.
Well, if that's the case, then
I
your
understand
hypothetical is
the
incorrect. But here's my point, is going to be, we didn't have these issues to really consider them highly adversarial until Donald Trump came into office and started every single trade war in existence. The only one that we had to consider slightly adversarial during that time was Russia, who has also been telling us since we started helping Ukraine the first time, back when Donald Trump first gave Ukraine Javelin missiles, that we were going to be under nuclear threat in the United States if we continue to support Ukraine. That's been being said since 2017 when Donald Trump first funded Ukraine with missiles. So
just
to
be clear,
we wouldn't be considering Iran or China necessarily adversarial because they haven't done anything directly to us in years, at least not since with Iran, not since the pullout of Afghanistan. But with China specifically, it's only ever been a back and forth on a trade war, but now Donald Trump started shit, and I think that's why his show of power failed. But I am trying to go ahead and end. I do appreciate the conversation. I hope you have a good night.
That's fine. I hope you do too.
Thanks, man. Really quickly, so I wanted to go address Bravo's comment before I leave. Said that Ukraine applied to join NATO just before Russia invaded. Problem is they didn't meet the standards to join. Cool. So you can actually just go directly to NATO's website. All right. And I went ahead and pulled that up. So North Atlantic Treaty Organization, really big up at the top. I'm going to clear your message so everything can be seen on the screen. Relations with Ukraine, directly right there. All right. Membership aspirations. This breaks down the entirety of the full timeline. So we go to, in response to Ukraine's aspirations for NATO membership, allies agreed at the 2008 Bucharest summit that Ukraine will become a member of NATO. They also agreed that Ukraine's next step on its way to membership was the MAP program, NATO's program of political, economic, defense, resource security, and legal reforms for aspirant countries. In 2009, the annual national program was introduced as Ukraine's key instrument to advance its Euro-Atlantic integration and related reforms. From 2010 to 2014, Ukraine pursued a non-alignment policy, which it terminated in response to Russia's aggression. In June 2017, the Ukrainian parliament adopted legislation reinstating membership in NATO as a strategic foreign and security policy objective, but they didn't apply. In 2019, a corresponding amendment to Ukraine's constitution entered into force. September 2020, President Volodymyr Zelensky approved Ukraine's new national security strategy, which provides for the development of the distinctive partnership with NATO with aim of membership in NATO. In September 2022, following Russia's illegal attempted annexation of Ukrainian territory, Ukraine reiterated its request for NATO membership. So just to go over this, there's only 2 times that Ukraine specifically asked to join NATO, 2008 and 2022. I just wanted to go over that with you guys because it's very important. And yes, Bravo, I do agree with you. I, for one, am sick of paying higher trade taxes than everyone else. I don't know exactly what you mean if you're talking about tariffs and our supposed deficit that we have. That's not what it is, because if you look at it, who at the end of the day pays for tariffs? It's the importer. The importer directly pays for any tariffs of what's being brought into the country. You are going to pay for trade taxes just by having tariffs in existence. The ones that are paying the tariffs are the importers. So it's either the company that's purchasing the product or it's an individual that purchased the base product to come directly to them. It is the people that are paying the tariffs are American citizens and American companies. It is not a foreign nation. Unfortunately, your taxes are still going directly to that because the price of good does eventually go up with tariffs increasing. All right, guys. So I am going to go ahead and sure, whatever, David. I am going to go ahead and call it a night. Not for you guys, TikTok. Stick around for a second. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time. Always at yes, Bravo. That's what I said. 22 applied after NATO. Russia invaded, meaning they cannot join NATO because they are in a conflict. That's actually not a part of the NATO charter or the requirements with that. For them to not be within conflicts. Just that's actually a misconception. You can actually look at what NATO requires and you can be in a conflict. Another one said tax the rich, which I agree with. 100%. Thanks for the $1.99 and the $5. Sorry, I changed my chat. I already closed it, so it won't pop up the chats right now. But I'm hitting end stream, so y'all have a good night over on the other side of things. All right.